Yeah.
What's your take on Pluto?
I used to have the bumper sticker that said, "I miss Pluto." It turns out Pluto is just one of like 100 objects out there that they're all the same. Probably Pluto really has no stature above the others, and we just have to admit that.
It's the only one that we remember, though.
Yeah.
Have you ever been on a podcast?
No.
You are the 33rd person to say that. Hey, everybody, thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the Buffalo Community Podcast. We've got an exciting one for you, a little bit different, but we're already at episode 33. I can't believe it's already gone that far. But before we get started, let's get this introduction out of the way.
This is the Buffalo Community Podcast, all about the greatest small town in the USA, the people in it, and how it all works together. Here are your hosts, Tyler Reiss and Mark Benzer.
Episode 34.
34, yeah.
33, 34, something like that.
Right in there.
Somebody can fact check us on that.
Correct that for us.
Great guest with us today, Mark Boyd, president of the Buffalo Rotary. And
president-elect.
President-elect of the Buffalo
Campaign season again, I tell
Rotary.
you.
Yeah. So thank you so much for coming in and taking some time to educate us a little bit on what the Rotary is and what your job is. So
Sure.
Yep. And before we get started on pushing, everybody stay here because we do have some really fun things to talk about from Rotary. We've been doing this giveaway of anybody who guesses the correct answer on the winner of the Vikings game will get a $20 gift certificate from the Buffalo Community Podcast. So far, we don't have any winners yet.
Winner and the score.
Winner and the score. Sorry, winner and the score. So currently, that pot is now going to be up to $80 because we're going to be in week 4. The 0-3 Vikings on Sunday are going to take on the 0-3 Texans. Do you have a guess on the final score and who the winner is?
The Vikings, 21-14.
21-14. All right. So be sure to message us your guys' guess on that to be entered. And first correct guess wins.
See what happens.
See what happens.
So all right, let's get down. Let's get down to real business here. Buffalo Rotary.
Buffalo Rotary. Buffalo Rotary has been around quite a while. It's a fantastic charitable organization right here in our community. And our job in Rotary is to raise funds and support the community in many, many different ways, dozens of ways. And we managed to do that by membership within Rotary and their contributions, but also contributions from the greater community. And the beautiful, beautiful thing about Rotary is that the money we raise internally is significantly matched by the Rotary Foundation. And so we have got really nice leverage, sometimes 4, 5, 6-fold leverage of the raised funds to help the community in lots of different ways. So it's a charitable organization. It is super efficient from a standpoint of all the money going to the causes. It doesn't go to any kind of overhead, and highly leveraged in a nutshell.
Yep. So as a Rotarian, highly leveraged is if we've got a $1,000 project going on, we can apply as Rotarians, as our group, matching funds from Rotary International, stuff like that. Some of those examples of, Rotary International might be able to, but Rotary out of St. Michael might be able to match some of those funds too, to really make your $1 turn into $4 or $5, which is really great to leverage that for our local people.
Let me give you an example, one that I did just a couple years ago. Our club in Buffalo came up, we did, I think, $1,500, and Monticello Club came up with another $500. So we created a circumstance where from the local community membership, we came up with $2,000, right? And because of that, we can apply for a grant called a Rotary Matching Grant that took that from $2,000 to $8,000. And in that particular grant, I don't know if you remember this one, Tyler, we bought 20 telescopes from Great River Regional Library System.
Yeah. Yep.
Which benefited not only Buffalo, but Monticello, all local surrounding communities, clear up to St. Cloud.
Yep.
But it's an example of in that case, a 4X leverage of helping the community. And a lot of that is funds that come back from the foundation, which is basically also a highly effective organization. I think, in fact, it's rated one of the top 2 or 3 in the world for dollars going straight to the causes. Right, so it's super efficient. So we're very proud of that.
Yeah,
very much so.
And members are primarily made up of who?
It can be anybody. We've had, historically, it's always been a lot of business leadership within the community. But I think that is changing over time. And now we have members of all sorts of different jobs. And I think the fundamental thing that they share is the willingness to want to help the community, to raise the funds and try to put money against those community organizations with the highest need. So it's a fun organization to be a part of because we're very proud of what we're doing there, and it really does go to a lot of needy causes. So
there's not really a need to check a particular box in order to be eligible to be a Rotarian.
Yep.
You don't have to be a business owner. You don't have to have any kind of, but just a desire to serve. And
just a desire to serve the community. It's a service above self is the fundamental premise of that. And I'm, for instance, retired. I worked for General Mills in Golden Valley, and I had nothing to do with Buffalo business leadership whatsoever.
Yeah, sure.
And they accepted me into their fold. So that's how it goes.
We'll take any. No. Yes. I also am a Rotarian. I think this is my 4th or 5th year.
Yeah, I think you and I probably joined about the same time.
Pretty close to that. And what I really appreciate about Rotary is if there is that cause, there's a lot of people that just step up behind the scenes, and it's not, a boat and pony show. I don't know if that's the correct saying. It's not a bunch of fanfare of look at what we're doing. They're behind the scenes, they're getting it done for a good cause, regardless of who's going to get the credit. Right. Yes. And I really enjoy that for that. Some of our local things that we do is the Adopt a Family. So that's actually going to be coming up here pretty soon.
Shortly.
Those big tubs around. Beds for Kids. And then Toys for Tots and Strive.
Yes.
So those are kind of our main 4 for our local, hyper-local.
Right. That are continuous always every year.
Yes. Yep. So, the needing of funds is every year, like every single organization.
Right.
So maybe enough with that. Let's tell them what we're doing this year.
Well, we're offering up a fundraiser called Rotary Roses for Lovers. And this was actually done several years ago by the Buffalo Rotary and kind of had been stopped for a while. We decided to bring it back, and it's a splendid opportunity to spread some love around the community. And so the fundamental idea is that we will sell a dozen roses for $25, and it will help brighten someone's life. Your spouse, in particular, we've timed it with the deer hunting season, right? So you buy the ticket, and you can then redeem it for your dozen roses at Buffalo Floral, our partner in this event.
Yep.
And so $25 not only gets you a dozen roses and brightens somebody's day, big way, but it's flowing right back into the community to help with a whole variety of needs in the community. So it's a 2-for-1 kind of deal. So you brighten somebody's day, and they also get to understand that they've got that dozen roses on the table because a charitable donation was made, so to speak, in the purchase of the ticket to local community need. So it's a double.
I want to thank Tim and Patty Speckle at Buffalo Floral for really truly partnering. They're actually allowing us to purchase these roses at cost. So they're not making the dime on here. I think they're going to send out a coupon for when it comes around to Valentine's Day. But they're a true partner, letting us purchase these at cost, so that we can maximize that dollar back directly to the community.
It's a nice deal.
Yeah, it's a great one. So the $25, every single Rotarian's been tasked to sell these. So if you do know anybody, or you go hunting, or you have a mom or a sister or a girlfriend or a daughter, I mean, there's four or five people to 4 or 5 dozen that you're going to buy here.
You're something to somebody. Right?
Correct.
Somebody is something to you. So
yes,
that's right. And in particular, I think, November, it's starting to turn dark and
Right.
cloudy and misty. It's kind of nice to have a bright dozen roses sitting on the table.
Yeah.
It's a nice gift. that
Without
time
a
of year.
question. Yep.
Absolutely.
So Buffalo, the Rotarians, if you know anyone who's a Rotary member, you can buy it from them. Also, I'm going to drop a mess of tickets off for Suzanne Odell at the Chamber.
Sure.
So if people want to swing by the Chamber, she'll have some tickets made available for sale also right there. So
Awesome. I'm going to ask you to leave a few more here at my office here. I just set up this account. Mark has already actually maybe bought our first ticket here, but he Venmo'd me $25. So he's already actually purchased that. I want to make sure I'm going to get my name correct on this. So if you don't have time or you don't know a Rotarian, you can Venmo me and I will fill out your contact information and send it to you. I'm just really killing time until I find my screen name here. But it's going to be at jtyler-reiss. That's at capital J, just the letter, just like my name, Tyler-Reiss, R-E-I-S-S. You can Venmo me the $25 with your name and your address so we can send you that ticket. And then you're going to be there and you're going to take this part of the ticket, the big part, to Buffalo Floral and redeem your dozen roses. Yeah. What are the dates on that?
So there you can pick up November 5, 6, or 7. Or no, I'm sorry, 4, 5, and 6.
Yep.
4, 5, and 6 is when you can get it picked up.
And we also show on the ticket 7. So I think you're okay on the 7th too, 4th through the 7th.
Yep.
And for that, just in advance of deer hunting season, so buy a dozen for your wife, and she'll understand how much you appreciate her, and you're gone for the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. And we want to thank everybody in advance for supporting the Buffalo Rotary and everything that they've done. This is a kind of a side fundraiser because it's not our main one. Ours was the car raffle that was supposed to happen a couple weeks ago now. Mm-hmm. But this little thing called coronavirus, COVID-19, whatever you'd like to call it, kind of prevents us from having those really fun events, which led to last year's Oktoberfest picture like that. So here,
and hopefully that'll still be coming in the spring.
Correct. We didn't cancel this. It's postponed.
Yeah.
We're going to try and do something maybe virtual, kind of see how everything can be done safely.
Right.
But if you want to see me dressing up in costumes again,
the leader houses are really
yeah. Let's start by supporting the Rotary Roses for Lovers campaign. Cool. Thanks for spearheading that.
Sure.
We're looking forward to that. Let's see, we have to have our orders in by October 21st.
Right.
Perfect.
So you'll have to buy your tickets before then, either at the Chamber or from Tyler or for any Rotarian you may know, and let's get them in by October 21st. That gives us time to get our order in and get them delivered to the Buffalo Floral.
Yep.
And
as a part of this post, we'll link the Buffalo Rotary page as well, both Facebook and their actual website. So really easy we're making it really easy for you to give us money as Buffalo Rotary.
Right.
We're trying to.
We're trying to anyway. Yep.
Yep.
okay.
So.
Well, and it's nice too. You hear kind of going back to what you had touched on before, just the efficiency of the dollars that come in are the same dollars that are going out, and not naming names, but you do, you hear those stories about other organizations where you learn that, maybe not quite as much of your donation is actually getting to where you want it to be. And so I think supporting a cause like this, you can feel really, really good that that money is going in large.
Yeah, it's complete. The local Rotary clubs are all volunteer organizations. There's not a penny going anywhere except right into the community. So it's very worthwhile.
Yep. And firsthand experience of going on a bed delivery, that's local kids that you don't know are sleeping on the floor. And then when you actually show up with a bed and a mattress for them to get a good night's sleep so they can go to school, and not and just to comfortably live, maybe things we take for granted.
Sure.
That's the type of things that Buffalo Rotary in specific is doing. So you're doing a really good job, not just getting a free weekend out for $25 of roses to your wife, mom, girlfriend, daughter, everything like that. So, so it's very, very effective.
Without a doubt. Let's talk a little bit about, you mentioned you retired from General Mills, and
I'm going to have you scoot up just a little bit closer to the microphone.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't in the Buffalo community.
I've lived in Buffalo for
Yep.
20 years, and I never really had a chance to meet a lot of people. Literally, I was driving into Golden Valley every day, a career filled with a lot of travel, and I never really connected much. So, like Tyler, joining Rotary about 5 years ago was really fabulous. It's a great way to meet a lot of people that really want to get some stuff done in a community and be generous and charitable. And how do they do that? So, and this group is nothing but that.
Right.
And so it's, for me personally, the opportunity to be able to join up with Rotary has just been wonderful.
Yeah.
And getting to know a lot of new people and see what's going on. And also, it feels to me like a lot of things flow through, a lot of information about what's happening with the community and the city and the surrounding area. You hear a lot about what's happening with the school system and needs. And, we, on the board now, we every month consider grants from all over the place. And so, you get to understand where the dollars need to go. And in many cases, it's surprising how needy families are in many ways. In special circumstances, they're down on their luck, things have happened, and all the different agencies we have around to try to help support them. So it's been a nice thing for me personally. And I think, Tyler, you'd say the same thing.
Yeah.
It's a good organization.
And 100% honest, when I first went to my first meeting, I thought it was more like a BNI thing, but it couldn't be further from the truth there. Self-promotion is not, it's not allowed. It's not allowed. It's actually very frowned upon for that. And which I think I was really attracted to it at that point. It was, one, again, seeing the wheels turn behind the curtain without getting any credit at all, seeing a lot of people around town that you would never know are pushing this machine through, not with their own efforts and money, but their own skills and bringing other people in from outside the organization there. One specific, Reiner Pensky, awesome man. He's Park Terrace. He's locked up in Park Terrace right now, but he sold over, I think it was 700 tickets, 750 tickets to the car raffle over the last 15 years.
Yeah, tremendous achievement.
So, that's a huge thing that we're missing here. But nobody would know, You look at Ron, Reiner, you talk to him, you just buy it from him.
Yeah,
he comes to you, he's like,
come and do it.
Come and get this ticket. Okay, perfect.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
What really does feel good about it, too, is that I think a lot of Rotary stuff is aimed at families and youth, and it's about education and trying to get a good start for people.
Yeah.
They're disadvantaged in one way or the other. So that's a kind of a pretty important premise of the thing. It's
and
nice.
I think maybe you just ever so slightly touched on it, but in terms of just how do you come to any kind of decision about, hey, we're going to support this cause or this group or these people? How is that determined? Do people apply for the funds, or is it?
There's a grant writing. It's literally a one-page grant proposal, and you send it into Rotary. It's all on the website if you go to Buffalo Rotary, and then every month the board meets, considers those requests against the funds we have available, and so it's. They come from all over. Nonprofits all around the community have been served by Rotary for sure. And it's kind of who's on the board at that time, what their popular topics are. One thing we try to do is create assets that will kind of live on for a while. So we don't necessarily support kind of just ongoing expenses, but we try to get organizations kind of a step up on equipment or facilities, things they haven't had in the past.
Yep.
So that gives it a little bit more longevity to the grant, results. So that kind of helps it. We don't always get to do that, but generally we're looking for what can we get them in terms of equipment or new capabilities, things like that. It'll help them out over the long term.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, and I'm going to circle back to you. You spearheaded the telescopes. You're an enthusiast of telescopes and astronomy, and tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, I was always kind of a scientist. I was a research director for General Mills for many years.
Sure.
And so kind of a hobby of mine since I was about 10 years old. And the one thing I felt there was that astronomy is a fun hobby, but it's also a pursuit intellectually. I mean, for kids that are 10, 15 years old, to begin to learn about astronomy teaches them all about math and physics. And I mean, every story behind a beautiful Hubble space photograph is actually a lesson in something about the evolution of stars, of the spectroscopy. I mean, it's literally a hobby that is all about learning. And so I felt that we should apply Rotary dollars to encourage hands-on learning about the universe, about space, about stars, which you can now do. You can go check out your telescope at the library or in the local libraries and take it home for 3 weeks and encourage your child to carry it in the door or to put it out on the picnic table and start looking at stars. So enabling kids to learn hands-on, and it's not only that, but it's practical knowledge that will kind of hang with them. So that felt like, to the grant approval committee in our district, almost the perfect grant because it's about education, and yet it's about an asset that will live on for 20 years. Right. So those are the kind of beautiful sweet spot we're going to try to find ourselves in when we're giving money. But there are all sorts of different needs and things. So it's, there's many ways to do this.
Very cool.
In your whole experience with just kind of being a student of astronomy, what's like the one thing that it just, bam, that's what made it click? That's what you go back to think, and you just, that one moment. Do you have that pinnacle of? Yeah,
there's a moment in discovery of our world. As kids look out and see the rings of Saturn with their own eyes. This is not a photograph, right? So you have this, I've heard this story so many times. I'm a baby boomer, right? So I've been around. I was doing this back in the 60s. But I've heard every decade since then, people that have discovered the hobby of astronomy discovered it when their small telescope from the department store, when they aimed it at Saturn. And they looked and they thought, oh my God, you can really see these beautiful rings wrapped around the planet. And it somehow captures their imagination, like, you can really see this stuff. I guess it's not just a photograph someplace. It's something that hangs out there, and it's so beautiful. And so I think the imagery of that, kind of trying to process it all, it never ceases to amaze me. When I have kids or families come over to the observatory in my place at home, and they see a site like that, their jaws drop open, and it's kind of a moment of excitement.
Sure.
Another element of it is when they see color. And the double stars or things that subtly revealed in a larger telescope. Stars typically look white to us, right, when we look at them. But in the telescope, they begin to look blue and orange and red, and there's all these colors. And I think that, again, a visual cues of that tend to make them ask a question. They ask, why? Why are there rings around Saturn? Why are there colors in the stars? And that's the beginning of learning, I think, is to trigger questions with
the why
students.
question, right?
Yeah. So that's maybe one example of it.
Yeah.
What's your take on Pluto?
I used to have the bumper sticker that said, I miss Pluto. It turns out Pluto is just one of like 100 objects out there that they're all the same. Probably Pluto really has no stature above the others, and we just have to admit that.
It's the only one that we remember, though.
I was downgraded to this minor planet thing.
Demoted.
Yeah, it was demoted.
Yeah.
Had to be a tough day for Pluto.
Yeah,
it was.
Well, I heard that it was, by the time it was discovered as a planet, it was declassified as a planet before it even made one trip around the sun.
Yeah, it takes a long time for Pluto to go around the sun.
So it's like, oh man, that was one wild ride. Yeah. But no, that's pretty fun. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh yeah, sure.
We kind of like to do a speed round as well. Kind of I don't know if Mark has asked a couple here or at least queued a couple of them up. Feel free to answer as detailed or not detailed as you want, and throw them back at us as well.
Interesting question. Being that you're retired and had a long career with General Mills, and now what job do you think you would be actually really pretty terrible at?
Accounting. I'd be horrible at accounting. I just can't figure out all those pluses and negatives. I can put them together and spreadsheets, and I hate accounting.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's just kind of, successful people, and they have good, successful career, and it's just like there's always that thing or two. Like I couldn't I couldn't work in a clothing store.
Yeah.
I couldn't fold. I watch people go through shirts and take all the pins out and try them on and go, nah.
Someone has to put that shirt back together.
That just stresses me out.
Yeah.
So not an accounting guy.
Not an accounting guy.
Well, I think if I was an accountant, I would probably specialize in the ESP column or the Clevin. And all of my office friends will know what a Clevin is. But ESP is air someplace. If there's extra over, just put it in that column over there. But I probably do food processing. On such a massive scale. I don't
that's
think
what we did.
I don't know if I'd not be good at it. I think I would really hate it though. I think I would really hate it. So when you're alone in your car, long road trip, what are you listening to?
Bluegrass.
Bluegrass? Mm-hmm. Anyone in particular?
Well, the Monroe Crossing, right? They've been here. We've sponsored them at the summer concert series in the park.
Yeah.
They're really a good band. In fact, I was just on a cruise last January before the whole COVID thing hit, and Monroe Crossing was on that
very
cruise.
cool.
They're really nationally well known. So
Very cool.
That's fun.
Ultra cool. What book has impacted you the most? You don't have to pick one or any. Maybe it's a bad question.
Okay.
You may have to edit that one.
Sure.
Yeah. No, that's fine. We'll edit that.
I don't know if I could actually answer that. Honestly, because I don't read a whole ton.
I don't read a lot either.
It's, I think I read the same 3 books right away in January, and they're kind of business related. It's just kind of refresh and restart.
Yeah,
but
right.
I don't get a whole hell of a lot of time to read, especially impactful ones. My head hits a pillow, I'm asleep.
I'd rather be off building something or
Yeah.
Right.
something in
Yeah,
my hands.
yeah.
I'm not a big reader.
Yeah. This reminds me of a joke. I'm going to ask it, then I'll tell the joke. Is if you could only eat one more food the rest of your life, what would it be?
Pizza.
Pizza. That's good.
Because there's such a variety. You can just carry on with pizza forever.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yep. I'm a big believer in pizza. That should be a T-shirt right there. Big believer in pizza.
That's our next fundraiser.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Right next to your I Miss Pluto bumper sticker.
Exactly. Well, Mark is looking for the joke was, well, after spending 3 years on this deserted island, those books I brought didn't help me a damn time. One damn time. But it's, one more pizza.
Oh, yeah.
What age do you wish you could permanently be?
Ooh.
I'm asking
65.
65?
Life only gets better.
Gosh, you're not 65 yet,
I'm
are you?
65, or will be in a few days. And
Happy birthday.
I'll tell you what, I've been retired a couple of years,
Mm-hmm.
and life is really great at this time. You're still young enough to be able to do stuff, and worries tend to go away. So, all the job issues and the pressures, and I worked for a big company, and there were endless get this done, get that done, and drive, and managing a lot of things, and retirement has been blissful. I'm not sure you can beat it. In fact, I talked to my fellow retirees, and we get together all the time, and I think we still, after years being retired, we still pinch ourselves is this really happening? Is it possible to be retired?
Yeah.
It's really, really nice.
I've never been so excited about turning 65 and retiring. That's a really great answer. I think, I think maybe you tend to go, he's going to say 25. He's going to say, but I couldn't.
Honestly, when you're 65, and if you're in reasonable health, you can still do a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
And you got the time to do it.
Right.
You get resources to do it.
Yeah.
That's the fun part.
This is making more and more sense. Let's start episode 35. Let's talk about this.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
Retirement.
Exactly.
Retirement. Yeah.
If you could go to space, would you?
I'm not sure. Motion sickness would keep me on the
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. All right.
You got a good enough telescope, and you can.
Yeah, I can see the stuff about going to
Like
space.
we're good.
Yeah.
We're good here, and
Keep your
my
feet
bed
on the
is
ground.
only 20 feet away.
I think that's the case, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Well, thanks for getting the word out on
Yeah.
Rotary Roses for Lovers.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's get some community support going here for this. Just this program alone will probably help fund several grants into the community. And so just the thought, help your community and create a beautiful day for somebody.
Absolutely. And reach out to your local Rotarian, buffalorotary.org, I believe it is, buffalorotary.org, or on Facebook, or you can click the link on this video, or you can Venmo me money, and I will send you your ticket for the $25. That's at jtyler-Reiss.
And Chamber.
And the Chamber.
Stop right in there by the
Yep.
Buffalo, by the post office, and
Yep.
talk to us. Suzanne O'Dell.
Absolutely.
All right.
For the Buffalo Community Podcast, I'm Tyler Reiss.
I'm Mark Benzer.
I'm Mark Boyd. This one.
That is
We're having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.